you put on weight easily? Really easily, maybe easier than your friends or your family. Now, Karen's asked me a fantastic ask girl, which is that how do you help endomorphs lose weight? Now, endomorphs are those individuals who are genetically predisposed to gaining weight. Now, historically, these individuals, if there was a starvation crisis, if there was a famine, these are the guys who would be more likely to survive. The reason why is they store energy far more easier. Now, this is because essentially endomorphs, their metabolism is far more efficient. This means that when they eat, they create a huge insulin spike to store all of that food as fat. But it also means that their metabolisms are slower, or more efficient. So whatever food they take in, they tend to store. Now this is on the opposite to someone who isn't an endomorph, they'd be an ectomorph. These individuals can eat a lot and they don't tend to store much of it at all. So they're naturally skinny. These are the people that we all love to hate. Now, interestingly enough, the behaviour of endomorphs can be quite different to that of ectomorphs. When they're stressed, for example, they tend to eat more and sleep. And they also tend to move less on average. This is in comparison to, say, an ectomorph, who is actually more likely to be a bit more jittery and a bit more hyperactive. When they're stressed, they don't eat and they don't sleep. Now, the solution to helping an endomorph to lose weight is that we need to create an environment where you're, first of all, less hungry. This means to include natural appetite suppression and to generally improve your lifestyle. Now, a lifestyle checklist that I'd like you guys to keep a lookout for is, first of all, to get more sleep. People who tend to sleep less, so those individuals who are sleep deprived, tend to go for sweeter and fattier foods, and they tend to get hungrier more often as well. So you don't need to get the full 8 hours, but at least give yourself the opportunity to do so. This means being in a darkened, cool room for at least 8 hours. What you might also find helpful is to take a natural supplement like ZMA or calms before you go to bed, and to refrain from using any sort kind of technology at least 30 minutes before you go to bed, especially if it's got a blue light, that's your iPad or your mobile phone. The other thing that you really need to work on if you're lagging in this area is mental health. Individuals can really eat a lot more when they're anxious or depressed. So by making sure that you're mentally well, you will stop looking for ways to self-medicate your low moods in the source of food. People who are mentally well tend not to look more for food for a natural pick-me-up. The other things I need you to do is choose your social circles well. It's very, very difficult to lose weight if you're surrounded by individuals who consume unhealthy food and consume too much food. We tend to eat far more when we're distracted either by a television or by if we're in the company of other individuals who like to eat. So therefore, you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself by individuals who are sensible and who don't tend to overeat, and also surround yourself by, and also make sure that you're not distracted when you eat. So make sure that you're not on your phone or you're not on your television screen, for example, because you would tend to overeat if you are distracted. When it comes to the food checklist, we want natural hunger suppression, foods that are naturally very, very high in nutrients, very high in fiber, and as low as possible in calories. Best way to do this is to eat as close to a plant-based diet as you can. It doesn't mean that I need you to cut out all dairy, all meat, and all fish. It just means that the majority of your diet needs to be plant-based. 80% of your plate should look like it's basically straight from the farm. The water and the fiber content will drastically increase your satiety, keeping you fuller for longer. Research has also shown that if you consume a salad before lunch and before dinner, salads tend to be more or less, calorie wise, you can kind of write them off. Talk about like 30 or 50 calories for a salad. But it's shown that by eating a salad before lunch and dinner, especially if you have, say, a big glass of water before you eat, it can reduce your calorie consumption by at least 20%. Also, reduce the intake of processed foods. Saturated fats and refined carbohydrates can cause a massive insulin spike. This means that your pancreas will just blast your blood full of insulin to try and store all this food, especially in endomorphs. The issue with this is what goes up must come down. A lot of the time, if this is the base norm, your body isn't very efficient at going straight back to the baseline. What it will do is it will increase insulin, and then it will drop insulin far more than the baseline, which means that you're constantly chasing these peaks and troughs of hunger throughout the day. if you make sure that you consume less processed foods, so you therefore consume less sugar and less saturated fat, and this means that you're far less likely to go through these peaks and troughs. The other advice I'd give you is to snack between meals on fruit and veg. Chop up some cucumber, tomatoes, onions, peppers, a bit of maybe some garlic, even a little bit of drizzle of olive oil, or you could just go completely fruit based and put all your favourite fruits and maybe a sprinkle of seeds in there as well, and you can consume those between meals, and you'll find that the fiber and the water content of these foods will keep you fuller for longer. But of course, you know that we're always here to help. It's all good me giving you this advice via video or via blog posts and things like that. But sometimes you need a guide. You need a guide who knows how to take you from A, which is where you're at the moment, to B, which is where you want to be. And if that's the case for you, or it's for Karen or anyone else watching, then all you need to do is contact me or go online and just book a free consultation with any of our staff members who are qualified in dietetics, nutrition and health, fitness and life coaching. Thanks for watching, and if you need any of your questions asked, all you need to do is leave an ask girl below by commenting below on this post, or just replying to me via email if you get this via email. Thank you.